Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin and today we are going to be reading into any energy, insights, or guidance coming in for the next 2 weeks for you, as well as any advice for chakra balancing. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so welcome back everyone who joins me for these weekly readings. We are changing it up a little bit by looking into some more chakra messages, as some of you had mentioned, kind of wanting to play around with more of those. And then also because I'm changing up my schedule and not only just doing monthly and weekly readings, but also timeless readings as well, that instead of doing 1 week, we're doing the next 2 weeks. So if you guys are excited, let me know down in the comments if you're excited about this new change. But let's go ahead and start looking at these piles here in a moment. I also do want to say a huge welcome to anyone who is new, especially since I've been having some new people on my channel based off these timeless readings. So if you're new and you've just come in, it's lovely to have you guys here. We've actually just hit 300 subscribers just recently, and I am so thankful, so appreciative. It's lovely to see this community continue to grow, and I love connecting with each of you and seeing your guys' personal journey as it continues to move through these weeks. So I'm excited to see these changes, and I welcome you guys, if you're new, to subscribe and join on into this community of tarot and charm loving people. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and start looking at these piles. Alright, so for pile number 1 here, we have an amethyst cluster. This is my mom's, and I'm so jealous. It's absolutely gorgeous. But this is a cluster of amethyst. Isn't it beautiful? But that is pile number 1, in case it resonates for you. For pile number 2 here, we have this etched piece of agate. That's what it's called, an agate. It's a dyed agate, and it's a magnet, and on it is a train that says the Royal Gorge route. So if that resonates with you, it's a very nostalgic thing for me, because this is when I first went to Colorado for the first time in my life when I was like 11 or 10. So that is pile number 2. Absolutely gorgeous. So that is pile number 2. And then lastly here, I decided to do just 2 pieces of rose quartz because it's just so pretty. So we have this piece of raw rose quartz, and then we have this little heart of rose quartz as well. It's such a gentle stone. So that is pile number 3. So that is pile number 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to choose any one of the piles. But first off, let's go ahead and take a deep cleansing breath together so you can make a better decision on which pile is most specifically speaking to you. But let's go ahead and take a deep breath together so you can cleanse your mind and cleanse your space here. So let's go ahead and take that breath together right now. And as always, there is no right or wrong way to choose your pile. You can choose all 3 piles, choose 2 piles, choose 1 pile, choose a pile, change your mind, flip-flop as you need to. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So feel free to meditate on the piles or pause the video for as long as you need to. But for those of you who already know which pile is for you, I will have the timestamps listed down below in the description, as well as in the chapter marks provided for you within the video. And also, thank you so much for all the support that I've been receiving lately, and the new subscriber count and all that kind of stuff, because I don't even think of you guys as subscribers. You guys are definitely my community. That's why I read for you. That's why I'm so excited to read for you and connect with you guys. So if you want to connect with me further, feel free to go to my Instagram, which will also be down in the description, because I'm very active on there and would love to connect with you guys further, just beyond the comments. So if you guys would like to hear me waffle about divination or magic, that'll all be down below in the description, as well as the different supplies and decks and things that I use too, and how to receive private readings. So if any of that interests you, that'll be down below, as well as the timestamps. But we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this cluster of amethyst, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set this down right here for you so you can see it during the reading, as today we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the Chakra Love Oracle so we can see what chakra you should be working with in the next 2 weeks. We're also going to use the Crystal Unicorn Tarot and the Sea Melodies deck. So I'm very excited. Let's go ahead and start diving in. We're going to be looking farther than just 1 week. We're actually going to look into 2 weeks ahead, which is why I wanted to do an extra thing with the Chakra Love deck as well. But let's go ahead and see what you have coming in Group 1 for your next 2 weeks in energy, insights, or guidance. What do you have coming in energy, insights, or guidance, Group 1? Group 1, Group 1. Okay. I thought I felt one flip, but we're going to keep going. So first off here, you have the High Priestess. Let's see what else for the next 2 weeks for Group 1 here. What do we need to know for the next 2 weeks for Group 1 in energy, insights, guidance, general messages, any messages from spirit guides, anything like that for Group 1 here. Group 1, Group 1. Group 1, Group 1. All right, what's this? So you also have the Queen of Pentacles. Very high feminine energy, or more nurturing energy anyway. So Group 1, Group 1. What do you have coming up in the next 2 weeks that we should be looking further into? All right, so we have your final message here from the tarot. And you have here the Page of Swords. It's looking pretty lovely so far. Let's see what else comes up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do your oracle message here from the Sea Melodies deck. So Group 1, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for Group 1. What do we need to know for the next 2 weeks for Group 1? Like I said, you have quite a lot of feminine energy here. Yeah. And a sort of more of a magical nurturing element. So you also have here empathy. And it says there's more beneath the surface. And then there's a little, I was going to say sea dragon. That is not what it is. It's a little seahorse. But there you are with empathy. And then I'm going to go ahead and actually go out of order this time. I'm going to go ahead and do your watercolor affirmation and then do your final one as the chakra one this week. So Group 1, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance. Okay, so you have here, mindset is key. And there's a little key there. It's like an old skeleton key. So it's about changing your mindset, changing your perspective. And then we're going to go ahead and look into your chakra love message. These work with all of the different chakras. And if you're familiar, that one's backwards, but if you're familiar with chakras, then you'll already know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who aren't familiar with chakras, there are many different chakras in our bodies, which are basically energy centers that go in and out of balance, and can fluctuate with our mood, with our surroundings, with what's going on. And it's about bringing those back to center, back to balance for yourself. And so we're going to be looking into the 7 main chakras, at least here in the Western world, that you see most often. So let's go ahead and look into what chakra needs most balance for you in the next 2 weeks. Which chakra do we need to work with here for you for the next 2 weeks? Group 1. Which one? Which chakra has gone out of balance and needs centering? Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this one tried to pop out earlier and I'm still feeling like it was a part of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that one out. But here you have solar plexus, rutilated quartz, confidence. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. be your own cheerleader. And with each of these as well, if you work with crystals in your spiritual practice, in just your everyday, this is a great one to help you within confidence, and that is rutilated quartz. So it looks like this, with all of these beautiful little rutilations within some clear quartz, which brings in that confidence. But there are other ones you can use for confidence too, usually ones that are within the yellow family or that yellow color. You can even wear yellow within the next 2 weeks to help bring about confidence, or bringing out confidence just in your physical appearance as well could be really helpful too, which comes from like what you're wearing, what you decide to wear, and making sure you wear it for yourself. So that's a message that was starting to come through there for you as well. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to what these messages are, but stay tuned later for the charm cast so you can see more details into the next 2 weeks and get into the nitty-gritty. But let's go ahead and look at what we already have here. So the first thing that I want to talk about here is the Page of Swords showing up with confidence. Like I said, I was already talking about bringing in confidence through the colors that you wear, the jewelry that you wear, the way that you do up like your hair or something like that. Bringing in the color of yellow, or ones that make you personally feel very confident. So if you need confidence in just your appearance, then maybe wear yellow. But if you need confidence in how you speak, maybe wear more yellow and blue. You can start looking into color psychology for this, and it could be really helpful for you if you work with anything like that in your spiritual practice or in your beauty routine for beauty magic or anything like that, or glamour magic. So that is something to think of in case you're interested in something like that. But if not, another thing about the Page of Swords though is that they're sitting here on kind of unsteady ground, right? Like they're kind of there, but they're kind of not there, because where they're standing is right between this river. There's like this rift here. So there's a rift in their confidence. They're not looking forward towards what their goals are. They're looking back, they're kind of teetering, they're back and forth, they're not sure. And that's why I feel like you guys might be lacking in a bit of confidence, and that's why bringing in confidence in whatever way you can is going to be very helpful to bring this into balance. So where I feel like sometimes chakras can be overbalanced, where you have maybe too much confidence and you can be arrogant, yours is maybe on the opposite spectrum within this next 2 weeks. And to balance that out, to bring it back to center, you feel like it may be underbalanced. So to bring in that balance is, what is it that you want to be working on? Is it something spiritual? Because you do have empathy showing up here. So maybe you're feeling less confident in talking to others, being nurturing towards others, feeling like working with that feminine or passive side of yourself, because you have two very nurturing elements here. And the first one here is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles, she's very abundant. She's got a lot to be grateful for. She is like in this beautiful cloak where she feels very like she's using that beauty magic sort of in her physical space. And I think that's why it was showing up for me for your physical space. So even if you don't want to get dressed up in your body, dressing up your body, you may want to dress up your space. So maybe get yellow pillows, or get something that just makes you feel really comfortable and calm, but also confident. Like, it's not like you're feeling slumpy in it. You're feeling a lot more confident. So maybe that's because you need to clean your space. Maybe you need to bring more comforting things to your space. Maybe it's a little too angular, a little too neat, a little too tidy. You need to find something that can bring that out. Whatever it is for you, really look into that, because for the next 2 weeks, it seems that you're going to need a little bit of that to bring in the confidence. The other thing about the Queen of Pentacles, though, is beyond the nurturing element of trying to nurture your space or nurture yourself for this confidence, I also feel like you may feel like you can't nurture someone else. So if you feel like at this time you've been looking after everyone else and looking after their feelings and being very empathetic, and you've been really, caring and looking at the deeper beneath the surface sort of energy that card was really showcasing here, you may just not be really taking care of yourself, taking care of what your possessions are, and taking care of your body as well is sort of showing up here with the Queen of Pentacles. The other thing that I see here too, though, is you have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is like one of the most magical cards alongside the Magician. They're very full of intuition. They tie deeply into divination, those sorts of things, or looking into signs, looking into your spirituality, looking into your deep intuition. And the other thing too is that a lot of people talk about the third eye being like the most intuitive space, because that's one of the energy centers, is your third eye for your chakras. And while the third eye does definitely have major elements tied to intuition, tied to dream work, tied to that like fantasy realm that we have within our space and within our like imagination, the other thing though is your solar plexus. If you've ever heard like, you get your intuition from your gut, is because there's actual scientific like research you can look into where our gut, like our actual gut system, like that whole intestine system, actually does have like nerve endings that have to do very similarly to our brain. That's why you get gut feelings that don't really make sense, but they are tied to your intuition. So I really think you're working with confidence, but you're also working with your intuition. So what are you being called to? What is it that you are very teetering and maybe using your mind too much and not your gut to make a decision? Maybe within this next 2 weeks there's something that's going to come up, a decision or a challenge, or just something that you have to face, or that you want to face, but you're using too much of your mind. You're thinking too highly about it. You're doing the pros and cons and really thinking it through. But maybe what you need is a coin toss, or maybe what you need is just to really sit with yourself, meditate on it, and not use your mind, but really, and not even really use your heart either, but more so that gut feeling. Is it telling you to go left or right? Is it telling you to go this way or that way? And make the decision based off your gut versus your mind within these next 2 weeks, because that's going to be really helpful and influential towards your abundance, so possibly towards career opportunities, or also just towards your own life goals too. So the last thing that we have here is mindset is key, and it really truly is. So make sure that the mindset that you are using this week, the way that you are speaking to yourself, the way that you are having these inner dialogues, are going to make a big difference and impact the way that your confidence comes through. So something you can be thinking of is every time you have a thought that is what you would believe less confident in yourself, something that you may be putting yourself down or doubting yourself, that's when you can utilize not only your intuition, but also speak to your mindset as well. Speak literally in your mind and tell yourself a better affirmation. So say the thought that you had was like, I'm doubting this decision. I don't feel confident enough to do this. I don't have this yet, so I can't do that. Switching it towards what do you have? Where are you at? What can you work with? How is your intuition influencing you in ways that you haven't noticed? So it's just changing your mindset this next 2 weeks, and that can really make a big difference. So most of yours has a lot to do with energy, changing this energy center, especially to gain confidence, abundance, a new mindset, and to help give empathy not only to others, but also yourself. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms group 1. Like I said, you definitely had a more spiritual, magical message here. Sometimes they're very like grounded and rooted in. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure where that sentence ended. My sister had to come and quickly grab something. But the point is, we're going to go ahead and move on to your charms. So, group one, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, and guidance, as well as the details on the next 2 weeks for group 1. Group 1 here. Oh my. That was quite a tumble there. Okay. Lots of silver. Sometimes it's very colorful, and it seems you have a lot of silver. So we're definitely getting some new messages that we didn't have at the beginning. So I'm going to look into some of those and see what we're heading here. Okay, so can't pick up all of the things. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see all of the charms in their detail. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So first off here, for some more context for your next 2 weeks, we do see new balance coming in. Like I told you guys, you were gaining balance in your confidence, gaining balance and taking control of your life decisions, taking control of where you're wanting to head. So it's not about necessarily making action, but more changing your viewpoint, changing your energy, changing your space to better yourself and create this peace that you're also being showcased here with this specific charm. So there's also peace coming in because of that, a peaceful energy. And I'm not going to say that it only has to do with this confidence, only has to do with this balance as well. And flamingos also have a lot to do with their pink color. So again, that physical element of changing, because as the flamingo eats, not necessarily that this has anything to do with eating, but as a flamingo eats, that's when their color comes in. So it has to do with their diet that changes the way that they look. So this doesn't have to be physical changes, although if you were already working towards those for a healthier space within your body, not necessarily to lose weight, but for health, then that's great. Go ahead and keep on that. But for those of you also, it just can be a physical change in your appearance for beauty, for confidence, for yourself, for self-love, whatever it is for you. You also have your generous, right? Like I was telling you, I felt like you might have been a little too generous for other people, that you haven't been generous to yourself. You haven't been giving yourself some of your own time, your own space, your own empathy. And with this also has to do with Leo, so Leo energy, and we had it on the Oracle side, but it also can be that a Leo is also present within these next 2 weeks and going to have an impact. And the Leo that may be in their sun, moon, or rising sign here is being showcased here in breaking a cycle. So you have the cycles charm, and it's about breaking that cycle, right? It's not about staying in it, but breaking it. And this is also a key ring, which makes me think mindset is key, right? So you're changing your mindset on someone who has been maybe cold to you. They're not being as empathetic towards you, towards your goals, towards what you need, towards what you're heading towards, right? Like they're only looking after themselves, this person, and it may be that they are a Leo, and they're not being very generous towards you either. So you definitely need to balance that out. Look towards what that relationship needs, that dynamic, it's not in balance. Someone's getting more than you are, there is like a little bit of like too much on their side, not enough on yours. You also have a spiritual element showing up here of spirit guides, possibly angels, fairies, the fae, dragons, anything like that have to do with wings. But it really could be anything that has to do with spirituality, really, for your spirit guides or for a higher being. And they're showcasing different silver linings or signs through either signs of stars, but I'm also mostly getting it through your music. So if you guys do any shufflemancy or something like that, music is going to be a great one to utilize, especially for helping out with your intuition. So if you hear that song that just shows up on the radio that day, then maybe listen to it a little bit deeper. Like, why did that show up right when you were listening to it? Is there a message there for you? You also have the awareness charm. So this can be, again, physical awareness or beauty or self-love. And then you're also having it next to the little tiny toy train, the toy plane. So this isn't the big plane that I have in my set, but more so either you're going on a smaller trip, or it makes me think of, being playful, being that little kid with the plane, and you're just really enjoying your space and your time. So be playful with your space, be playful with the awareness that you have around you. It could be really beneficial to your mental health this week and bringing back some more love towards yourself. And the final message I have here is, again, another spiritual message. Like I said, you guys got a lot of magic and spirituality showing up in this pile. And it is the chain of events, like spiritual events or just like your guides working behind the scenes. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus today, but your guides working behind the scenes to make something happen, because each of these little beads are about, like little universes that are heading towards a goal for you. So they're working in the background towards something that you're manifesting. And if you're manifesting something right now having to do with money, or leading towards someone who's been fake towards you or have been like, treating you like trash, then they're definitely helping in aiding this manifestation at this time. Especially since we just passed the new moon, and maybe when you did this manifestation or this wish fulfillment, it happened somewhere just before the new moon, so that also has shown up here. But with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. Like I said, you guys were much more energy-based. A lot had to do with confidence. A lot had to do with changing your mindset towards confidence, towards giving empathy, giving back to yourself. Not just looking at other people's needs and wants, but also your own. Listening to the music that's coming in for any signs, especially for this manifestation towards money. Having more awareness, more playful energy towards yourself and your style and your physical appearance or space has been showing up here as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. Let me know if you're enjoying this new 2-week kind of schedule with these new timeless videos. And also be sure to give this video a like if you really did like it. It really helps this channel continue to grow, and I very much appreciate it, so thank you. And also feel free to let me know in the comments what you thought of these charms or this reading in general, and the chakra love card for these readings. That'd be really cool too. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your very first videos with me here today, I do monthly readings, timeless readings, and also weekly readings or 2-week readings like this, as well as other fun magical content. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to subscribe and join this tarot and charm loving community. I would truly love to have you guys here. So with all of that said, I will let you guys go ahead and go on with your next 2 weeks, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this little agate with Royal Gorge on it, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set it down right here for you. It's very nostalgic for me, so it's lovely to have it here for your reading here today. So I hope you guys enjoy, because we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the Crystal Unicorn deck and the Sea Melodies deck. And I also decided to do this less as an oracle message and more, it's still an oracle message, but we're going to use the chakra love deck to look into which chakra needs most balance, if it's underbalanced or overbalanced within the next 2 weeks, to see what we can continue to work on within your chakras, so the 7 main energy centers within your body. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and start diving in. So like I said, we're going to be looking into the next 2 weeks for you, Group 2, and see what you have coming in. So Group 2, what do we need to know for the next 2 weeks for Group 2 for their weekly messages on energy, insights, or guidance that's coming in, or any weekly events that need a little bit more guidance or thought or advice into. So Group 2, okay, whole bunch of messages just flying out. I feel like that tends to happen with Group 2 for some reason. I'm going to take the top one here. So you have here, that's actually really interesting though, that you had both the 3 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. There's definitely a 3 theme that's happening here. But here you have the 3 of Cups. And then I'll also take this 8 of Wands that flew out here. But as I was saying, the Group 2 always tends to have, or the middle group tends to have more people, I feel like, choosing it. So that must just be like a general theme that happens. And so there's more messages that tend to fly out for this group. So Group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance. So you have here the 2 of Cups as well. So you have the 2 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, and the 8 of Wands. Wow. Lots of fun energy happening here for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to your oracle message here with the Sea Melodies deck. So Group 2. If you can hear any of the dogs upstairs running around, feel free to ignore them or enjoy their little padding feet. But I don't know why I said little, they're huge. But Group 2. Looking for any energy. Here we go, some energy. Ooh, dream. Follow your yearning for the deep blue sea. The little ship in the corner. So that is dream. And then before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and actually go out of order this time and do your watercolor affirmation before we do your chakra message. So group two, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2 for the next 2 weeks. Group 2. Okay. So you have here, wow, okay, that definitely makes sense with how much you have here. So you have embrace your feelings. Embrace your feelings. So cool. All right, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got the heart chakra, but we'll see. We might get a little bit surprised here and get something else. But let's go ahead and look into your chakra love message. Like I said, basically our chakras there's many different ones in different cultures, but the 7 main ones that I work with are present in this deck, and we're going to look into which ones are underbalanced or overbalanced for you and see what comes up here. So group 2, we're looking for which chakra needs balance within the next 2 weeks for group 2 here. Group 2, which chakra needs more balancing, needs more attention and time and thought for the next 2 weeks for group 2. Wow. I am not even surprised. Okay. Wow. Okay. You guys got a fun pile going on here. So you have the heart chakra, like I mentioned, but you also have here the root chakra, which I'll talk more on a moment. But the heart chakra is actually located in the center of your chest, and it is the bridge between, like I said, there's 7 chakras, and it's the bridge between the upper and lower chakras. So it can be sort of a spiritual bridge as well, like less known one. But anyway, I'm kind of waffling on here with these chakras, especially if you're not used to them. But you have here love. Love is a verb, so make it your most treasured action. Right? That's so beautiful. There's action towards love, right? That it's a choice as well in some aspects of how you choose to act on your love or embrace those feelings of love. Either if those are for yourself or for another, or others too, more than one. But with each of these chakra love cards, they also do showcase a crystal that you can utilize within your magical, spiritual, just everyday meditation practice or anything like that to help bring balance towards this. So like I said, you're really working towards it, but I think it has more to do with grounding the 2 chakras that we're going to talk about here. But you have rhodonite for this specific one. And rhodonite, actually, I have a little piece right here. Looks like this. That is rhodonite. It's great for healing, embracing love, embracing the complexity that love has, right? So I'm going to go ahead and actually just leave this here so you can see it during your reading, because you also have here grounding with the root chakra, and the root chakra is at the base of your spine. It's the bottommost first chakra that you tend to work with. It's like the survival chakra, the base of your spine, what is your rock, And so you have the root chakra, and the crystal that goes with this one is red jasper, which I also have red jasper, so let me just grab that out real quick. So yeah, here is some red jasper. It's very grounding. When I hold this stone, it makes me feel very grounded, rooted to the earth, like I could just grow roots and just grow right into the earth. So I feel very grounded. I don't feel floaty. I don't feel over, too much or too little. I feel very just at peace in that. So it says here, sink your roots deep, connect them to the heart of the earth. And I was just talking about the roots. So if you guys want to, and it's not too cold where you live, a great thing to be helping you ground your feelings, because like I said, love is very present right now. And it's definitely, love can get, carried away. So for some of you, because we have that embrace your feelings, some of you may not be embracing your feelings. So this is underdeveloped at the moment. You're not grounding yourself in your love. You're either pushing it aside and not allowing yourself to look at it, not allowing yourself to look at love, especially since for some of us, just had Valentine's Day. Maybe you're not allowing yourself to look at love because either you're not sure where it's going to go, you're not ready to embrace those feelings, those crushes, where you're at, or ready to commit to someone and ground yourself in someone, especially since we have that grounding card. But yeah, so we have that here. So I'll talk more on that in a moment, but let's go ahead and dive on in. Like I said, though, or I hope I said, if I didn't say, I'm going to do the charm cast later on, so we'll get some more details on what we're going to talk about here. Because, like I said, I feel like you guys are either not ready to commit, so you're underdeveloped in your love or heart chakra, or you are overly embracing your feelings to the point where it can be obsessive. Like you're dreaming about them, you're overly thinking about them, you're fantasizing about these people or these commitments that you could have with a person. And this doesn't have to be necessarily romantic. This can also be a friendship. This can also be connecting with yourself or with friends, family, anywhere along the spectrum of love for you. But if it is romantic, especially with Valentine's Day, depending on which side you're feeling, no matter what, you need to find center. So it's either to bring your emotions back to center or embrace them. And a great way to do that is earthing. Earthing is a form of grounding by going outside and actually walking on the earth. So if it is too cold, especially as it is right now, because there's freezing cold winds outside right now, it's frigid, and where I live, there's snow actually falling right now outside my window. So for the people who can, feel free to go outside and just put your feet actually on the earth. Like take off your socks, take off your shoes, don't put on those sandals, go out and actually put your feet in the earth and think about grounding those feelings of love, because they may just feel a little too floaty and dreamy, or they may be feeling less centered and like you can't embrace them. So one of those two, either way, it'll help you bring it back to center. So that's a great exercise to use within the next 2 weeks for those of you who can. And for those of you who can't, you can also do grounding meditations that sort of work you through that, but more on a mind level. So definitely look up some of those on YouTube or in other platforms and things. Because the other thing that's happening too within the next 2 weeks is you have the 8 of Wands. So the reason why you also might be feeling not grounded is maybe you're moving a lot, you're going places a lot, because the 8 of Wands is about very fast inspiration, feeling very inspired, feeling very passionate. You may be heading towards something or someone, and it's going to be coming in fast. You're going to have a fast 2 weeks. They're going to feel like they just flew by because of all the emotion, because of all the whirlwind, because of all the tasks and all the things that you need to get done. But like I said, ground yourself down, not only for love, but also grounding yourself back to things that make you feel grounded. So if that's actually physically going outside and being in nature, do that. But I'm also seeing it's grounding yourself in your community, in the people whom you feel committed to, or that you feel like you can talk out your feelings to, so you don't feel all floaty and it's all just in your head. Because you also have the 3 of Cups here, and the 3 of Cups is such a beautiful card. You can see them toasting here, and it's about friendship, getting together with your friends, your community, your family, even with yourself too, but mostly it's about externally getting together with people, either over Zoom, over FaceTime, in person, whatever works for you right now for safety. But I think grounding yourself back in to reality too, if you feel like you've just been in this dream, this fantasy, this like passionate energy that you've been heading towards. Like I said, I feel like most of you are probably on the over affectionate side or the fantasy side, which isn't a bad thing. You're like in this honeymoon, wow, so excited, but you need to ground that energy back down, see the reality in it as well as the excitement and honeymoon in it, right? Like you can have both, but it needs both to feel grounded. And so talk to your friends about these relationships. Talk to your friends if it is a relationship with them that you've been maybe wanting to see them or go on a road trip with them, because you have like this energy here of that fast wand energy. Maybe you're traveling with them, something like that. Whatever is coming up, whatever resonates for you, friendship is going to be very important in the next 2 weeks. And lastly here, like I was saying, there was a lot of commitment. So if you're ready to commit with someone, and maybe that's what you've been dreaming about, fantasizing about, feeling like, on the fence, if it's like you're wanting to commit to someone, either for marriage or for promising yourself to someone, or even on a smaller level of just like fully dating someone or something like that, or just taking that leap in whatever that relationship is for you, the 2 of Cups is showing up to showcase that you can do that is coming up, and that it's going to be expressed. And the 2 of Cups is always such a positive card, especially since you have such positive cards around here too, of like celebrating, talking to your friends about this exciting celebration. So if that is something that resonates with you, it's definitely a more positive message, if that helps to ground you a little bit here. But with all of that said, group 2, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms. What a fun pile you guys have been so far. So we can see some more information on what's really going on, maybe who these people are, if it's more friendship, if it's not, if there's commitment, what is coming up here. So let's go ahead and move on to your charms, group 2. So group 2. We're looking for information, energy, insights, and guidance for the next 2 weeks. For group 2, more details. Someone likes to get stuck on me. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the ones that fell off the board here and look on through them and see what's showing up here for you, group 2. Let's see what we've got. I always tend to pick them up if they're upside down because that's just how I personally like to do my stuff. But yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in. We don't have a lot of more love messages, probably because they were already pretty well expressed. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. So before I get to your central ring, I'm going to talk about the fact that you have both the letters Z and M. So the letter Z and M here, and Z and M, they may have something to do with initials, they may have to do with places, maybe if you guys are proposing or anything like that, or committing yourself, maybe it has a street address or has something to do with a place, anything like that, maybe March, whatever it is, but that is showing up here for you at the full moon, so that's definitely like it's being highlighted, like if it was a book, it was like highlighted there. But let's go ahead and talk about your inner ring. So you're embracing your feelings, right? You're embracing that space. And when embracing your feelings, that means you have to look towards the past, look towards past relationships, look back at our old fears, look back at why we're feeling not grounded, look back at all that stuff, especially if you're on the side where you were feeling like less balanced because you aren't embracing your feelings. So you will be looking at yourself in like a mirror. You're going to be reflecting on past experiences, especially closure that has happened with someone, maybe because a relationship didn't work out or because that friendship didn't work out and you had to, end it, or they moved or something like that, especially with the 8 of Wands that showed up. But that is just coming up here too. And then you have this top, which showcase, like, I always think it looks like a top, right? So I feel like you're feeling really topsy-turvy. And like I said, you feel very up in the clouds. You can't feel grounded. You're just spinning and spinning and spinning in circles in your head and your mindset and where you're going and what I'm going to do. And you just need to ground back down, okay? Really take some deep breaths. Let's go ahead and take some deep breaths together right now in case you guys are feeling a little uneasy. So let's go ahead and do that, okay? All right, let's do one more. And as you take these deep breaths, like later on into your next 2 weeks, try to do them in a more meditative practice. So really think about roots, like rooting all of those feelings, rooting all of that energy, letting it go into the earth and letting what doesn't serve you stay there and letting the earth take care of it and taking back what you need to from the soil, from the earth, to embrace those feelings. And that is sort of the key there, because you also have the key, and this is a spiritual key. That's what I always think of it. So this is more of a key is your spiritual practice, or a spiritual practice that you could be taking up. So maybe that's yoga, maybe that's meditation, maybe that's earthing, whatever it is for you. But look into those self-care practices when it comes to these feelings, because like I said, there's a lot to celebrate if anything happens, but what you're celebrating is going to be very rooted. It's going to feel really safe. It's going to feel really good, because 4 is a very rooted number. It feels very committed. And who you may be committing to, or someone you want to commit to, or someone that you're just really wanting to share this cup with. Maybe that isn't even commitment, but just really wanting to share your cup with. Maybe you're just finally making that step to ask them out or something like that. The Two of Cups is showcased there, and that may have to do with someone who is an Aries in their sun, moon, or rising sign. And if not that, then this is also an oracle message of courageous. So just feeling that courage, that confidence in which to, go towards what you want. More grounding energy showing up here again. Cycles, closure, definitely showing up here again. And then another message that's coming up here too is you have 5, which represents change. So this is a new relationship. You're not going back into something that isn't a cycle that you need anymore, right? Because you have a key ring here, and you have a new key, a new opportunity, a new space for yourself, a new person to commit to or to look towards or to dream about. And that person is not someone from your past, because you have here the kind of like black hole charm. I always think of it where you feel just like that black hole that suck everything good from your life kind of thing. Then you also have and this one showed up also in pile number 1, so this may resonate for pile number 1 too if you watched both. But you have the snowman charm, which represents someone being very cold, being very cold-hearted towards you, someone who isn't really thinking about your feelings and what you need. They may have been gaslighting you, things like that. So like I said, you're diving into those emotions, possibly finding closure with this person, and maybe that's what you're celebrating, finding that closure with this person as well, because you're diving into that closure, diving back into it and reflecting on it, so that you can move towards something that's better, something that's more stable, something you can embrace your feelings in, because you're transforming in what didn't work, So this is also the transformation charm. Alongside this reflection too, it also can be that you are working towards beauty magic or anything like that on a more spiritual level as well. But then you also have here next to the action moon and towards the beginning of the new moon, so a new cycle, and you have the parrot charm. And the parrot represents not having an original idea, right? Like you're just parroting someone, you're just saying the same thing they said. You're not letting your own emotions, your own feelings be heard or said. So if you feel like you're just trying to go with the crowd, feeling peer pressured to maybe not say what you really feel, then this is like your take action on that, right? This is like your speak your word, especially if that has something to do with the workplace beyond just like an emotional level, because you have the money charm coming in after that with the M and the Z. So if we're thinking about this cycle that started just recently with the new moon, depending on when you're watching this, if this is later on, but if you're more recent to when I post this, you may be in this cycle right now of needing to ground at the very end of the cycle, but at the beginning you're letting your originality in your career come forward, and then by the full moon, something about M or Z is showing up here. But with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little recap, although a lot of it had to do with really fast-paced energy, really fast ideas and thoughts and passion towards your friends that you're celebrating with or talking to and really connecting with again, or another that's much more special to you. And maybe even finding more commitment with that person, rooting them into your life, right? A lot of grounding in your spiritual practice or in a spiritual practice that you could be taking up and using that as a way to transform and heal from this past relationship or find closure. You also had the reflection charm, so again, more beauty magic, especially if you got pile 1 and 2. And then you have here dream. So it's not that you have to get rid of your dreams or that you can't have that passion and energy, but talk to other people about them. Talk to someone whom you feel really connected to so you can ground that energy down, because you're definitely embracing those feelings. You're going to have lots of feels this week or these next 2 weeks. So definitely embrace them. So anyways, with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. Please let me know if you did by giving this video a like. And not only is it so that I know that you enjoyed this reading and that you enjoyed these new 2-week readings that I'm starting to bring in versus just the 1 week, but also it lets me know and lets this channel continue to grow. So thank you to those of you who have already liked the video. I really do appreciate it. And also feel free to let me know if these charms resonated with you. If you have someone coming in, use it as a journaling space. Let me know what you think about the charms or the cards, or also just leave a really encouraging affirmation or something for someone else who may have got a more difficult pile, or just because you have some wonderful wisdom or something like that. I always think it's great to, pep up other people down in the comments. And lastly, if you've made it this far and you're new, I just want to say thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and a huge welcome to this community. If you want to join in on these Monday readings where I do timeless readings, weekly readings, and monthly blessings readings, and other things in between having to do with magic and spirituality and creativity, then feel free to subscribe and join this tarot and charm loving community. I'd love to have you guys here and love to read for you more often. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 3, if you've decided to choose this chunk of rose quartz and this heart rose quartz, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set those both right down here for you so you can see them during your reading here today, as we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the Sea Melodies deck and the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. But I also want to implement this new kind of section for these 2-week videos where we work with these chakras, the 7 main energy centers within our bodies, at least here in the Western world and within this deck, to find what you need to balance in your chakras. So our chakras can sometimes go out of whack where they're underbalanced or overbalanced, and it just kind of depends where we can find that center. So I'm waffling on. I'll talk more on it when we do that specific part of the reading, but I also wanted to do a chakra love message here for you guys today. But let's go ahead and get started with your tarot messages. So group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 3 for the next 2 weeks for group 3. Okay, so the first one you have here is the Tower. Don't freak out, we're going to get some more information, and the Tower honestly isn't such a bad card. It gets a bad rep, but it's actually a really healing, really useful card. So I actually wasn't feeling very confident in that specific drop, so we're going to keep going. So group 3 here, we're looking for any information. Okay, so you have here the Knight of Wands. Okay, the Tower and the Knight of Wands. And let's see what else shows up here for the next 2 weeks for group 3. They are jumpy today. You also have the Death card. Again, another one that gets a bad rep, but don't worry, we're going to look more into it. But so before I do, let's go ahead and get some more oracle messages here for you. So group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 3 for the next 2 weeks. What to think about, what to put action towards, anything like that. So group 3. This one's a little stubborn. Group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 3. Alright, so this definitely resonates here so far. So you have here a little anchor, and it says, move. Barnacles only grow on a docked ship. So there we are with move. Move. Yes. Definitely feeling that energy already. Normally I do your watercolor affirmation last and then follow up with the charms later on in the reading, so stay tuned for those for later on for more details. But I'm going to go ahead and do those ahead of time so we can do your chakra message at the end here. But group 3, here we go. I'm going to take the one face up here. Yes, turn the page. Definitely feeling such cathartic energy from your guys' pile so far. So there you go. Turn the page. And then lastly, like I said, we're going to look into those 7 main chakra centers within your body, and we're going to see what shows up both in the crystal to work with this week if you have crystals or you work with crystals, and which one needs balanced. So within the next 2 weeks, what chakra here for the majority of group 3 here, which chakra needs the most balancing, and in what asset or what aspect? Group 3 here, group 3. Which chakra needs most balanced? Which one's feeling underbalanced or overbalanced to an unhealthy status for group 3? Okay, so let's see here. So you have trust and the third eye chakra. So the third eye chakra is the chakra right between your eyebrows, and it's on your brow bone there. And it's your third eye, right? So it's like your all-seeing eye, the intuition that you tap into, and you have trust. So it's trusting your intuition. And it says here, trust your intuition. It is in contact with the higher source of knowledge. And the specific crystal that it's showcasing here that you can utilize to help balance this, and that one is tourmaline. It doesn't say specifically which color, just in general tourmaline, but it's looking like a more colored tourmaline. I personally don't have these specific colors, but I can show you the black tourmaline that I have right here. So this is some black tourmaline, which you can utilize in case you guys need it or you don't own the crystal. So you can like pause the video and use this through the screen. But that is tourmaline. I'll leave that here for you guys. But it says trust. So let's go ahead and dive on into the cards here and into these messages. But stay tuned later on in the video because we're going to go into the details here with the charms. So whenever you get both the Tower and the Death card, plus the turn the page, move, trust, and the King of Wands, or the Knight of Wands, I'm just seeing so much transformation. You guys are ready to transform, and if you're not ready, it's happening, okay? It's ready for you, because you have the Tower here, and the Tower talks about getting out of it can be talking about getting out of toxic situations or dropping down something that just wasn't built very well, because you have here the Tower. It's growing so tall and so high, but it, is destined to fall down kind of thing. Or it's about growing a foundation that is strong, and if your foundation isn't strong enough, it's going to just sort of fall down on its own anyway. It's not going to last. It doesn't have a lasting quality to it. So there's something in your life, either a relationship, a mindset, a belief. It can be a spiritual belief, especially with this trust, but you're ready to move on from someone or something or some space within your mind, because it is ready to drop this Tower down, or this Tower has happened. Someone has broken a belief in, I'm just really feeling a belief system, but that doesn't have to necessarily resonate for all of you. It may just be the majority, but I do feel like there's a belief system that's just being broken down right now, right? That's shifting. Your perspective is shifting, it's moving, it's changing, your passions are changing, what you want out of life is changing, and that's okay. Embrace that lightning strike, because now that it's happened, you get to embrace that. You get to embrace the destruction of letting it all fall and building it back up stronger, building it back up on your own words, on your own space, on your own new beliefs and opinions. And not because someone else told you to, right? With this crown, you're breaking off that crown, you're breaking off that hierarchy that's sort of put you there, that societal pressure that may have put you there, and you're breaking it down. You're possibly, some of you are getting out of that rat race sort of situation. It's definitely coming through in different ways for each of you, so definitely take what resonates, but the main point is you're breaking something down personally, or it's happened because new information has come in and it's just changing and shifting your reality. It's moving, and now you have to trust your intuition, trust that that is okay, trust that this is a natural process that you need, and it's happening anyway. So just don't stay docked in it. Nobody wants to stay at the bottom of the Tower where it's burning and, all of these things are happening. It's ready to move on from it and build something better, or recycle it and transmute that energy towards something that's better. And the other reason I say that too is because you have the Death card. And the Death card, don't worry, it doesn't actually... I've never seen it actually mean anything having to do with actual death. It has more to do with the symbolism that death and life have within human experience, right? So death, even though it can be very scary of a concept and just scary in general, but death happens every year between the cycles of the seasons, right? Like, you have all of these different plants coming to life, blooming, and then coming back down, and then summer plants come in and then come back down, and then they grow these new seeds over the winter and grow back again in the summer and the spring. And it's just this cycle of life, right? And you're ready to break down the cycle. You've completed something, right? You've completed it. It's come to its end. It's as far as you can go. And it's ready to change. We're ready to move on. Because with each door that closes, another one opens. Because you may have that sunset, but then the sun's going to come back on the other side. So you're going to get a new day, a new space. You just have to trust that this, just because it's a whirlwind right now, maybe the first week is going to be a whirlwind. The second week is going to come back. And you're going to create a stronger foundation. Because you have turn the page. So what are you turning the page to? What's going to be a better situation for you? Maybe journal on that, introspect on that, reflect on that, or just trust yourself that this is a better decision. Trust yourself, because the Knight of Wands, man, they trust themselves, because the Knight of Wands is the type of person that just, like, even though the wind is blowing in one direction, everything's against them, they're going to go in the opposite direction. So even though everything feels like it may be against you, it's actually going to be super transformative. And when you look back, you're going to be like, wow, I'm standing stronger, I'm standing taller, I'm so much better than where I was before. And, like, just look at that, trust that this is a better position for you. This is a better place for you. And the Knight of Wands is just showcasing all of that confidence, all of that power that you have. You can just go against it all, right? And you can just have that passion for life, passion for this new adventure that you're going to be partaking in. So, wow, so much transformation. A lot of people are like, well, what could happen in a week, right? Like, what could happen? What could happen in 2 weeks? But it's those small things that happen every day that start to create our reality, and your reality is shifting. But anyway, I want to get some more details for you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to your charm cast so we can see maybe what reality is shifting, what you're moving towards, what you need to trust in other than just yourself. But let's go ahead and look at your charms, group 3. Alright, so group 3 here, group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 3 on the next 2 weeks, and all the details in between. So group 3 here. Okay, definitely gave you guys quite a few, so I'm going to go ahead and fix up some of these and see what you have here. You have another chakra message, but we're going to see more into that in a moment. Okay. Definitely got more move energy. Got some changes coming in here. Ooh, we do have the X. It is upside down, so maybe that's because you're moving away from it, but that's just something coming up here for some of you. But I'm going to pick it up because it is upside down. Wow, such a good message there as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on in. I always get so, like, excited because I just feel very, like, I know this could be difficult, but it is going to be so much better. Like, trust that. It's going to be so much better. You're moving towards something better. It's so nice. So I might not hit every single charm here, and more so the energy of these charm groups. So we'll see what comes up here, because I did actually send out a lot. But before I get in here to the very central ring, the heart of the whole entire reading here, we have the Tower charm falling next to the Silver lining charm. So you have a silver lining. There's something better in that. There's something to trust in the mingled mess that is what is happening, and may feel very mingled. It's going to shift your reality, but in the better. It's going to be better. You also have the letters of V and F showing up here, so that may resonate for who or what situation that may be coming up here. But you have V and F, one towards the action moon and then this little cluster here. You also have the number 6 as well, but I'm going to go ahead and start in the center. So you have the move charm, basically. So if you guys are familiar with chess, this is the one that can move forward with force without anything in their path, right? They could just take it right out. So this is like the move charm. And what you're moving towards, like I said, is something better. You're opening a can of worms because you have the can opener here as well. So like I said, you're going to be kind of facing some of the ending of something. Maybe you're finishing a job, finishing a part in your career, finishing that belief system. Something like that is, you're opening a can of worms and you're having to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your reality, your truth. Don't let anyone else try to mangle or gaslight you or change what is your reality, because that is definitely being showcased here, that you might be feeling like you have to be really open to them, but maybe you should be a little bit guarded. Because you also have the Haya charm next to the pure charm of like childhood, and then the just root chakra here. And with this can of worms kind of opening, all this new stuff, you have someone coming in. So this could be someone that could be really helpful to you. This will resonate different for each of you possibly. So you have the Haya charm. So someone's trying to contact you, trying to talk to you. And they're also like, again, another can reference. They're opening a can of worms. And it maybe has something to do with a childhood belief or a childhood memory or something like that. But you're heading towards something better because of it. It's going to be a silver lining, even though it feels maybe something you were rooted in, something you just knew about someone and you just always believed it. But you're going to be opening yourself up to moving away from those specific thought patterns or those specific feelings. So something, and it can be something smaller. It doesn't have to be something really huge. But it could be something small that's just affecting you within these next 2 weeks on a more day-to-day level. But you do have spirituality showing up here. So again, another sort of spiritual intuitive message that something may be changing on a spiritual sense. So maybe you guys are changing religions or changing your mindset on religion, because something is shifting and coming to light. You also have the unicorn here, and the unicorn talks about uniqueness, feeling unique. Also can talk about LGBTQIA+ sort of issues, but you have the F here, so I'm not sure exactly what those sort of line up, but you may know. Or you just are learning to express your uniqueness within the next 2 weeks. Being unique, being your unique self, or listening to your unique opinion, your unique perspective, and that's okay. Like, let your perspective, be persistent in that, because you have the persistent charm. Even though things may feel like yours isn't a good enough opinion, be persistent, because it is. Your opinions, your thoughts, your feelings are valid. It all just depends on how you act on them. You do have the another sort of reference, like I was really feeling something about this tower charm with the crown, like I was talking about earlier, and you have the crown here, and then the poodle, and then I just don't know, it's just giving me like this outward experience that someone is trying to get in your mind, because you have here the mouse, and they look kind of grumpy, they look kind of like, no, listen to me here, right? Like they're they're kind of persistent as well, kind of heavy-handed, kind of trying to say what they need to say, and they're kind of getting in your head. They're trying to be this Queen of Wands or this king and trying to get in your head, and they have this outward experience of outward shell of being confident, like this poodle shows. But that's just a shell, that's just a title, that's just things that are on the top of things, and it's going to change because your unique perspective again is valid. And we also had the heart chakra charm show up here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the specific ones that have to do with the heart chakra here and see what your heart chakra message is. Alright, so I pulled out all the ones to do with the heart chakra that I have in here. So let's see what is showing up here with the heart chakra charm for group 3 here. What is changing? What is shifting? What oracle message is showing up here for the heart chakra? So you have here connection, Father Divine and Mother Earth make love in your heart, and it is connection for the heart chakra. And then the specific crystal message here is of green ocean jasper. I don't actually have that myself, but there is green ocean jasper. But yeah, you have the heart chakra, and the heart chakra is at the very center of your chest. I don't believe you guys, which chakra did you get? Yeah, you got the third eye. So you have both the third eye and the heart chakra, which both can be very intuitive, specific places. Like I said, this is the one that bridges, within the other piles anyway, I said, this is the one that bridges both the lower and upper chakras, because it is what meets in our chest. And so that's where your emotions and your intuition can combine. So like your mindset is telling you one thing, people are telling you one thing, but you know in your heart of hearts that there's something that is amiss here, because you've been feeling committed towards something. You've been being flexible towards these ideas, these thoughts, this connection with someone, or with either like Father Divine and Mother Earth, so a spiritual element. It's been giving you hope. It's been giving you like enlightenment, but something is changing here, right? Because you have the tradition charm, you have the commitment charm. So that has to do with traditions, commitment, feeling committed to it, but something's changing here. It is out of balance. And so it's being enlightened right now, and it's going to cause more harmony for you. So 6 is a harmony number. It's bringing things back to the center, bringing things back in. And this is the central chakra. So that's why it really feels to me like you're just connecting back in, connecting all those dots, all those missing pieces, and putting it together, because you had the flexibility charm. And I think it's so funny that this is the time that it actually breaks. So you've been flexible, right? But now it's broken. That flexibility is gone. You can't be flexible towards all these other ideas and opinions because they're pressing them on you right now, hardcore. And you've been under this sort of like spell, of commitment, of tradition, but it's ready to shift that perspective, gain that new perspective, and break it down. So you can form more meaningful connections that are going to be more meaningful for you. And the last charm you have here is hope. And I think that's such a lovely one to end on here, because you have hope. There's hope for the future. There's hope for this change. There's hope for this new perspective, this coming to an end and a new beginning to emerge. And I always think that this looks like a little Winnie the Pooh, like little jar of honey. And so it makes me think of like you're finding hope and you're also, honey has a lot to do with and corresponds with not only bees, which are like worker bees, changing your perspective, putting a lot of hard work into that, but also they have a huge community too. So you're finding a new connection, finding a new place in what it is that you are changing up here. So, wow, feel free to let me know in the comments down below how this resonated, if there was anything that specifically stood out to you. I'd love to know. But I'm going to do a quick recap here in case there was a lot to cover. So you had both the heart chakra and the third eye to possibly start working on and balancing, because you have a new beginning on its way, something that's changing up in your perspective, in your space, with the people that you hang out with. A new foundation is ready to be built, a new dawn, a new day that you get to move on towards, and trust that it is going to be better, that you're turning the page towards something better for you, even though it may be difficult to face the reality of what is changing here, face the reality of what is shifting, what was from your perspective that you've been flexible on, that people have been telling you that this is how it is, this is how it's going to be forever, and you're realizing that this doesn't have to be your life, this doesn't have to be who you connect with, this doesn't have to be your belief and your values and your morals, right? Because we do have V here, so values possibly as well. But with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. Group 3, you guys had such an interesting one. I feel like all 3 groups definitely had something new to bring to the table. So if this didn't entirely resonate, feel free to check out piles 1 or 2. Also, feel free to give this video a like. It really does help this channel continue to grow and lets me know that you enjoyed this reading here with me today. So thank you so much. Also, let me know in a comment down below how you thought of this new 2-week reading instead of just doing like a 1-week reading like I'm used to. I want to know if you guys liked the chakra sort of messages, or if that's something that you weren't as into, all that kind of stuff. Any kind of feedback is appreciative. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your very first videos here with me, a big warm welcome and thank you for watching all the way to the end. That's lovely, so thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I do readings every single Monday on your weekly blessings, a timeless video, or magical content, or anything in between, as well as these weekly readings. So if any of that interests you, or tarot and charms, or the community that it's growing here, I'd love to invite you to join on in. So with all of that said, I hope you guys have a great day, a great next 2 weeks, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.